Welcome to Education Matters, presented by the Public School Forum of North Carolina. I'm Tara Lynn. As many viewers may already know, the Public School Forum of North Carolina's president and executive director, Keith Poston, has resigned from his position in order to focus on personal family matters. I look forward to serving as guest host of Education Matters for the next couple of weeks. Well, every day youth attend after school, before school, and summer learning programs across North Carolina. They are engaging in activities like STEM, physical fitness, literacy, and civic education, just to name a few. The NC Center for After School Programs serves as a statewide after-school network that advocates for, supports, and convenes this diverse field of professionals to ensure that youth across North Carolina have access to high-quality programs that are outside of the regular school day. Today, we will talk with the center's director, as well as two directors of 21st Century Community Learning Centers, the only federally funded initiative dedicated exclusively to supporting local after-school, before-school, and summer learning programs. Before we tackle our main topics, we open with Headlines, our quick scan of education headlines across North Carolina and the United States. Last week, a WUNC radio report described how State Superintendent Mark Johnson has sent many high-quality promotional materials during his tenure to schools and parents, prompting questions about whether or not he is using tax dollars intended for instruction on his own campaign instead. A departure from how previous state superintendents communicated with the public, Johnson says it is his job to promote the good things going on in schools across North Carolina, and that the materials will not be used for a potential re-election campaign. The Department of Public Instruction has not answered questions yet about how much those printed materials have cost taxpayers. Months now after a July 1st deadline has come and gone, teachers hoping for raises this year may see a mini budget compromise come from lawmakers soon. Last week, House Speaker Tim Moore said that he would soon roll out a proposal for teacher raises separate from a full budget compromise that is still hanging in limbo. Moore said that he hopes to offer raises that would exceed the 2% raise for teachers that the House and Senate proposed in their budget last summer, which Governor Cooper vetoed in part because he said the raises were too small. At this month's State Board of Education meeting, Superintendent Mark Johnson said that teachers could email him directly to ask for iPads for their classrooms, prompting criticism from state board members and the public that the superintendent had not implemented a fair and organized system for distributing the technology. Last week, Johnson announced that he will now require teachers to fill out an application requesting those iPads, in which they must explain why they need them and how they will measure the impact on their students. Now remember, you can visit the Public School Forum's website at ncforum.org, click Education Matters, and read more about each of these headlines, as well as other topics that we cover each week. Well, as I mentioned at the top of the show, today we're going to take a look at the impact of after-school programs and the impact that they have on the lives of youth, both nationally as well as across the state of North Carolina. Joining us this week to discuss this is the director of the Center for After-School Programs and two 21st Century Community Learning Center directors. And again, these are the only federally funded source dedicated to exclusively supporting these after-school, before-school, and summer programs. First, though, the Public School Forum Center for After-School Programs celebrated the 20th anniversary of Lights On After School with North Carolina's First Lady, Kristen Cooper, and Dr. Terry Peterson, chairperson of the Board of Directors of the After School Alliance. They did this at the Executive Mansion in downtown Raleigh. Let's take a look.
Lights On After School is the only nationwide event that celebrates after-school programs and their important role in the lives of youth, families, and communities. Today, and throughout the month of October, thousands of programs within our state and across the nation will open their doors to the local community to share with them the many ways that youth learn by doing every day through programs. To the youth of our state that are here today, here because in your after-school program, you found a place where you belong. You found a place where your passion has been ignited and where you can thrive.
Young people who participate in quality, engaging after-school programs, art, music, STEM, robotics, all kinds of opportunities can happen.
Lights On After School promotes the importance of quality after-school programs in the lives of children, families, and communities. Now therefore I, Roy Cooper, Governor of the State of North Carolina, do hereby proclaim October 24th, 2019 as Keeping the Lights On After School Day in North Carolina and commend its observance to all citizens.
Now, what a great event, and I would like to introduce Dr. Sharonda Fleming, who has been the Center's director since 2017. Dr. Fleming, we certainly thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Tara.
Now, I know some people may or may not be familiar with the center and some of the roles that it plays here in North Carolina. What exactly does the center do?
Absolutely. So the North Carolina Center for After School Programs has been in existence since 2002. It is one of 50 statewide after school networks across the nation, and so there's essentially one in every state. And in North Carolina, we advocate, convene, and support the work of our after school, before school, and summer program providers across the state. And our hope and our mission is that youth across North Carolina, all of them have access to high quality programs, regardless of their zip code.
And I was going to say, what are some of the ranges that we see? I mean, there are all different types of programs, and we're not just talking about, those that might be for one type of student, but these are any sort of after-school program across the state, correct?
Absolutely. So our programs across the state serve youth K through 12. So there are students in our K-12 education system, and they do a range of things, anything from mentoring to literacy to STEM. We tailor our programs to the needs and interests of our youth.
And I know you guys just had the 20th celebration, or this month is going to be the 20th celebration for the Lights On After School. We got to see some of that with the First Lady participating there. What is this celebration exactly about, and what does it bring light to?
Absolutely. So we've been celebrating Lights On After School since 2000. So this is year 20, and it is the only nationwide celebration that acknowledges the role of our programs in the lives of youth, families, and communities. And so within North Carolina and across the nation, actually, our programs are opening their doors throughout the month, and particularly next Thursday, October 24th, and inviting the community to come in and see the great work that our programs are doing. So it's a way to lift up those programs that are doing exemplary work across the nation, but it's also an opportunity to show the gaps and where there's more need for programs.
And what were you able to speak with the First Lady? I know, again, we got to see some of that video, and the governor's office getting involved in bringing light to this. What sort of conversations were had there at the governor's mansion?
Absolutely. So when we had the celebration on Tuesday, this was an opportunity for North Carolina to celebrate Lights On After School for a statewide event. And so with First Lady Cooper, she read the proclamation making October 24th our statewide Lights On After School Day, and she was able to talk to some of our program providers who've received awards from the Center for After School Programs. They are after school champions, so they're doing exemplary work in their communities, and they were able to bring some of their youth from their programs. And so as you saw from the footage, the kids were having a great time talking to First Lady Cooper about the things that they're learning, and they were able to tell her their future aspirations as well.
And no doubt a very memorable and very cool experience for them. What do you see as one of the main benefits for these programs? I mean, where would these children be if they weren't there before school or after school or in the summer?
Yes, so there are lots of benefits to our programs. You know, we do a lot of work in regards to helping kids develop social skills. We also are preparing them for the workforce. A lot of them are exposed and gain new excitement about learning within programs. They're able to do more hands-on projects. They're able to feel like they belong somewhere. And for parents, it provides a place where they know their children are safe and secure. And so our children build relationships with our providers across the state and across the nation. Like, they have that relationship with a caring adult.
What's one of the biggest needs in order for students to be able to access? I mean, are there enough programs? Do we need more people to volunteer, more money to come in, or all of it?
Definitely the biggest needs are related to funding. So nationally, for every one child that is in a program, there's 2 that would participate if funding allowed. And we're seeing that in rural communities, those numbers are even more drastic. For every one child that participates in a program in a rural community, there's 3 waiting to get in. And so it just highlights the fact that there's greater need and greater investment for these programs.
I know, of course, that we do have some programs we're going to be able to speak with too later in the show who have federally funded, supported programs, and you know it's going to take a lot of money, so, you know, to be able to open the doors. What is if the public says, you know, I think I want to invest in these programs? What do we see as a result of being able to invest in these programs?
Yes, so there's a huge return on investment for out of school time or after school, before school and summer programs. So for every dollar that is invested into a program, you're going to see it return 3 ways. Number one, you're going to see it increase youth's future earning potential. You're also going to see it improve their performance at school, and you're also going to see a reduction of their involvement in crime and juvenile delinquency. So investing in programs is, I think, a win.
And has there been any particular story from over the summer or a program that you just have a memorable moment of really seeing that child come in and really be able to blossom?
There are thousands of stories like that across North Carolina, and being a part of the center, we hear them all the time from our programs. But I think just the most recent memories was our Lights on After School celebration, seeing our youth from different communities across the state come and meet First Lady Cooper and share with her their aspirations for their future, and seeing, as you saw, first North Carolina show their robot. Like, it's just an amazing opportunity to see the passion on the kids' face. They light up.
And so if there are parents out there who are like, you know, I really would love to get my kid in a program, and they're trying to figure out how to find out about these programs and which ones they might be able to afford or which ones might be free to apply to, where can they get that information?
I'm so glad you asked that, Tara. So the North Carolina Center for After School Funding programs got funding last year, and so we actually have a statewide mapping database of out-of-school time programs. So anyone can go on our website, ncafterschool.org, and be able to access our mapping database. You can plug in your zip code and find existing programs that serve. You can look by grade level, interest. If you have a child that's interested in STEM or mentoring, you can select that and be able to see the programs that are available in your area.
And of course, as we see things get more expensive and parents having to work maybe longer hours, there's going to be still that greater need. So Dr. Sharonda Fleming, we thank you so much for being with us and the work that you're doing in North Carolina.
Thank you.
All right, after a brief commercial break, we will be back to continue our discussion with 2 after-school program providers in Gaston and Hyde counties. But first, see if you can answer this question. In North Carolina, 74% of after-school, before-school, and summer programs are incorporating this in their programs. Which one do you think it is? We'll have the answer when we come back.
Education Matters is brought to you each week in part by Paragon Bank. Serving others, enriching lives.
Welcome back to Education Matters. Well, did you correctly answer C, science, technology, engineering, and math, also known as STEM? The North Carolina Center for After-School Programs released the report, The Power of After School in North Carolina, in the fall of 2018. In this report, data from the center's mapping database of out-of-school time programs indicated that STEM was frequently incorporated into programs across the state. In fact, 74% of programs incorporate some form of science, technology, engineering, and math in their programs. Now, joining us now, we have 2 directors of 21st Century Community Learning Centers to share with us the value of their programs for youth, families, as well as the community. So we have Nancy Leach, Director of Student Services in Hyde County Schools, as well as Roxann, Jimison, the Director of the Dream Center Academy in Gaston County. Thank you guys both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Roxann, I'm going to start with you with the Dream Center. Tell me a little bit about your program, who it serves, and some of the benefits that the students and families get.
Okay. We are in Gaston County. We are a fairly new program. We opened our doors to our first class of students a couple of summers ago. We serve students from the time they enter 6th grade through their middle school and high school years until they graduate high school, college, and career ready. We offer year-round programming for our students. We offer a summer program with 5 weeks of school from 8 to 3 every day with academic classes in the morning, enrichment clubs in the afternoon. Then we pick back up when school starts and provide after-school services that continue to build our students academically and socially so that they can own their education.
And Nancy, in Hyde County, tell me a little bit about your program. You guys go all the way K through 12.
We do, and we serve 2 different sites. So one of them is on the mainland of Hyde County. That's a tremendous county, and it's one of the largest counties geographically in the state of North Carolina with the fewest people. And then we have a little strip of land out on the Outer Banks, and that's Ocracoke Island, and that's where our other center is.
And do you guys focus on a particular area? Is it, everything STEM, or are you guys able to have a little bit of
We have a little bit of
everything?
everything. We really do, because we serve such a broad range of students. So
And both of your programs unique in that because they're the 21st century sort of learning centers, meaning that they are federally funded. So certainly I would imagine if these doors weren't open, I mean, especially during the summer 8 to 3, not a lot of parents all the time can afford to have that sort of summer care for their students. Where would these students be if they didn't have the Dream Center?
Well, for one thing, we serve the underserved population of students, which is teens, with the Dream Center Academy. So our students would likely be at home on social media, watching TV or hanging out on the streets. But what we provide for them is not only a safe and secure place to come and learn, but we offer them all kinds of enrichment activities. We take them on field trips. We do college tours. We have that programming provided throughout the year for them. And it keeps them engaged in learning and growing themselves as learners throughout the year.
And of course, having a safe place to be, which really became important for Hyde County. You guys, of course, we're still in the middle of hurricane season, Hurricane Dorian having a big effect. Tell me a little bit about what that was like to be able to keep the doors open during that time.
Yeah, so the hurricane affected all of Hyde County, but really devastated Ocracoke Island. And the school there was flooded. So, and that's usually where we have the after-school program. But even the tutors who work for the program stepped up and said, what can we do for the children? What can we do for them during this time? So many homes were flooded, and I think over 400 homes had damage there. So a lot of those homes were teacher homes and student homes. So what we did is provided programming, enrichment programming during the day for those students. And we also, DPI allowed us to take a field trip, an impromptu field trip. You usually have to plan way ahead, but they allowed us to go to Astro Camp. And so we had our 3rd through 5th graders there, and it made everyone so happy knowing that they were safe, and not only just safe, but engaged and learning and happy as they could be.
Meanwhile, many of the parents, that their house is flooded and in
Right.
disrepair,
Yeah.
and they've got the ability to be somewhere where they feel like they are safe. Now, Roxann, with the Dream Center Academy, I know you guys we had talked a little bit about serving the middle and the high school programs. What are or middle and high school students? What are some of the services that you guys are able to provide? I know you mentioned college tours. I mean, and that can be a huge, really disadvantage, I guess, for some of those students in the lower income area.
Right. So our vision for our program is that we graduate our students college and career ready, and that they graduate and become productive citizens of their community. And so our program provides lots of enrichment activities. Our enrichment clubs include things like building and flying drones, coding for computer programming. We have the arts, music keyboarding has been taught with our after-school academy, drama classes, just all types of exposures that students may not have if they did not attend the academy.
And I know we had talked about, of course, being able to do things like space camp. And can you tell us a little bit about some of those other activities, and also how you are able to bring in the families?
Well, we have monthly parent involvement opportunities. So that could be something as simple as a yoga class or a nature walk. We've also done STEM fair prep nights where we invite the parents to come in and learn about what a STEM fair project looks like and how they could be involved with their student, and help them along the way. A lot of parents don't even know what that is, and so the students suffer for that, because some parents do and some parents don't. And then we provide some materials And that's really simple materials like just some cardboard that we recycle and help them get started with their projects. So I think parents have really appreciated those opportunities because it is a mystery how to connect with these digital children just in the digital age. You know.
We were not building drones back when
Right.
you know, I was in school. And Roxann, I know your program, you guys also have some special forums where you're able to bring in the parents. It's not just you know, just helping the students, but really bringing the family together, correct?
Right, we do. We also provide the monthly programming for our parents, and that's driven by their needs and their suggestions. We make sure that there's opportunities that we meet with the parents just in a social event. So we provide 2 celebrations a year, one around Christmas time, another in the summer. The other thing that we hold ourselves accountable for is providing that ongoing communication. Not just to communicate about a problem a child is having, but to communicate so that we're building relationships with our families and that we can share good news about our students. And what that does is it creates a bond with us and our families that helps us to support our students.
And do you see you guys being able to expand those programs, or would that require some more, you know, funding, whether it comes federally, grant, or private and public?
I always feel like we're expanding our program on a daily basis and trying to figure out how to do that. One thing is a volunteer base. Creating that volunteer base is really important to us.
What would be one thing, I guess, that could help really expand things?
We also would need extra funding to create a new site, but we are a fairly new program. We're 2 years in operation, so we're expanding our program every year because we start our students in 6th grade and we add a new class every year. So that means every year, for instance, our first class is now 8th graders. Next year there'll be 9th graders. So we continue to grow our program and how it will look for our high school students in this upcoming year.
So lots of opportunities
Yes.
for students and, of course, volunteers and the community to get involved. So Roxann and Nancy, thank you guys so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Well, after the break, we will have a look at this week's final word. For our final word today, I want to share a video about the Dream Center Academy. This is the after-school program that our guest Roxann Jimison operates in Gaston County. This video showcases just how an after-school program can not only be the foundation necessary for a child to succeed in school, but also one that helps them to achieve their dreams and change the lives of those in their communities too.
We've got so many assets in our community, but the greatest asset we have are our students. And so our goal really is just to give them the opportunity to see exactly who they really are and who they really can become.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a fashion designer.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a lawyer.
I'm going to be the President of the United States of America.
When you have a rocket, for that rocket to really go into space, it's got to have a platform that is stable, that's able to give that rocket the place where it can lift. And so we want to be that platform. Excitement is contagious. Passion is contagious. And if we get these students in a place of passion, all that's going to happen is their passion within them is going to keep going.
The goal is not just to prepare them for college. If it was that, then we're only investing in their life. If they go through our program and they choose not to go to college, but they become productive citizens of this community and they give back to this community, then we've reached our goal with that child.
And so when I hear the word Dream Academy, I think that goal of getting them to dream and understand the web of a dream is tied with its resources that surrounds them. It's a catch-all, it's a net that really, I think, helps to keep them moving forward with that and make that dream a reality, not just for them, but for the world that is depending on them.
That's it for this week's show. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time for Education Matters.